I just turned 18, so it's my first time voting, and I feel like it's just something that everybody should do because every vote counts, even if you think it doesn't.
Get Out the Vote and the Butler Center are hosting another voter registration day on October 10th, the final day to register on campus in the state of Florida.
Finding internships and jobs at the University of Miami is now easier than ever. The Topple Career Center is committed to helping UM students launch their careers. Now, they have gone a step further with live feeds for students to find connections based on school and major. First, navigate to your school-specific website. Then, scroll down to see a long list of internships and jobs to choose from. These options are listed by major for your school. Select what interests you, and a drop-down menu will show positions in that major.
Students, when they think of careers and their major, they think very specific to what that major is. And we want to broaden that. So by looking at the feeds, it may open your mind to oh wow, I had no idea that I could do this with this major.
In the future, the Topple Career Center will have this feature on their website. That way, students can see every opportunity in one place.
The results are in. UM student government positions have been announced at noon today on the Lakeside patio. 1,241 students voted in the election for 32 Senate seats. Students voted on who they wanted to represent them in their classes, housing, and schools.
It's National Recovery Month, and last night, University of Miami students learned how to identify and respond to opioid overdoses. The Sandler Center partnered with URecovery and the Miami Recovery Project to host a Narcan training session for students. The event provided students with information on drug use hotlines and safety, plus access to recovery options for them or their loved ones. Leaders of the Miami Recovery Project taught students how to look for signs of overdoses and how to administer Narcan before calling 911.
And we've experienced a lot of deaths due to opioid use where I'm from, and I just feel like it's such a prevalent issue right now, and I want to be able to provide help in the event that I notice that somebody overdoses.
In 2020, more than 250 people died in Miami-Dade County because of opioid overdoses, and more than 400 others ended up in the emergency room for overdosing. Many of them were saved from Narcan. Narcan is an opioid antagonist, which means it temporarily reverses the effects of an opioid overdose and can be a life-saving treatment. At the end of the night, the Miami Recovery Project handed out 2 free doses of Narcan to all attendees, a treatment that costs about $60 per dose without insurance.
The flu shot is once again mandatory for all students, faculty, and staff at UM. The requirement started in 2020 as a response to the COVID pandemic and has been in place since. University leadership made the decision to promote student well-being, whether it's academic or social.
So obviously we want to encourage students to get the flu shot to prevent the flu from spreading on campus, but we also want them to think more holistically about their well-being in general and all the different ways that preventing the spread of illness can also improve their overall well-being.
Vaccines for students are available on campus Tuesdays and Thursdays until October 27th. You can find the dates, times, and locations on the Student Health website. The deadline to receive the flu vaccine is November 7th.
And coming up on NewsVision, one UM student organization is helping grad students get involved across the university's 3 campuses. Stay tuned to find out more when NewsVision returns. Don't go anywhere, we will be right back.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah?
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Thank you for staying with us. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is defending his decision to fly migrants to Massachusetts and growing criticism of his actions. And now DeSantis is facing a backlash and lawsuit. On Tuesday, Democrats in Congress called on lawmakers.
Migrants were being treated horribly by Biden. They were hungry, homeless. They had no opportunity at all. The state of Florida, it was volunteer, offered transport to sanctuary jurisdictions.
On Tuesday, Democrats in Congress called on lawmakers to look into whether Florida misused federal funds to transport 50 migrants from Texas to Martha's Vineyard last week. DeSantis defended the move, saying his state was actually helping the migrants and more relocations are likely to happen. The controversial flights have put a spotlight on a Florida-based aviation company. According to state budget records, its Department of Transportation paid Vertil Systems $950,000 2 days after Martha's Vineyard flights, but the records do not say what the payment was for. The records only show Vertil provided contracted services. The planes used for the flights were flown and operated by Ultimate Jet Charters, a separate private jet company based in Ohio.
Miami-Dade County Commissioners have doubled their own salaries this week after approving a $10 billion budget on Wednesday. According to the Miami Herald, commissioners voted 7-5 to increase their yearly compensation from $68,000 to $138,000. This is the commissioner's first compensation increase in nearly 20 years.
One UM association is committed to helping graduate students find their voice on campus. And tonight, they're hosting a fun fest for grad students. Our lead reporter, Sophia Vitello, is live at the Shalala Center with more. Sophia, tell us about the event.
Regina, it looks fun to be a grad tonight. We're here at the Grad Fest in the Shalala Student Center. It's hosted by the Graduate Students Association, which has been helping students connect to campus since 1969. You can see over here, students are looking at different tables full of organizations, clubs, and resources on campus that they can connect to so they feel a little bit closer to home. There's over 5,000 graduate students here at the University of Miami and over 170 different programs in our 3 major campuses. So this is a big deal for graduate students here at UM. There's food, there's drinks, there's music, and you do not want to miss out. It started at 6:30, so you still got an hour to make it out here. Are you guys excited? We are. You don't want to miss this event, guys. Come tonight, Grad Student Fest in the Shalala Student Center. Sophia Vitello, UMTV.
Thank you, Sophia. Russian President Vladimir Putin announces the country is calling up 300,000 soldiers from the reserves to send to Ukraine. The move comes days after Ukraine took back multiple regions that were occupied by the Russian military. Hours after the announcement, all flights out of Russia to countries that do not require Russians to have a visa sold out amid fears that the Kremlin would make all citizens fight in Ukraine. At the United Nations General Assembly yesterday, President Biden called out Russian President Vladimir Putin.
This world should see these outrageous acts for what they are. Putin claims he had to act because Russia was threatened. But no one threatened Russia. And no one other than Russia sought conflict.
The deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, said today that Russia may put strategic nuclear weapons in Russian-occupied territories in Ukraine.
Former President Donald Trump forces a lawsuit that could potentially ban him from owning a business in the state of New York. The civil suit accuses Trump and his family members of financial fraud. On Wednesday, New York Attorney General Letitia James announced she was suing the Trump and 3 of his oldest children for $150 million. She's accusing the family of giving banks and investors evaluations of their property that were worth up to 10 times more than the actual value, allegedly helping the family make billions of extra dollars.
The complaint demonstrates that Donald Trump falsely inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself and to cheat the system, thereby cheating all of us.
Trump has rejected these claims on his social media platform called Truth and told Fox News that the alleged fraudulent financial papers have clear disclaimers that encourage banks to use their own appraisers. This case is the latest of multiple lawsuits that the former president is currently fighting.
The season's first major hurricane in the Atlantic strengthened to a Category 4 and is taking aim at Bermuda. Hurricane Fiona is packing sustained winds of over 100 miles per hour. The deadly storm has already ravaged parts of the Caribbean and Puerto Rico, leaving millions without power and water. Hurricane Fiona, now being described as a monster Category 4 hurricane with sustained winds of around 130 miles per hour heading towards Bermuda, the island under a hurricane warning. At least 5 people have been killed from Fiona's wrath. The powerful storm decimating Puerto Rico and parts of the Caribbean earlier this week, dumping inches, even feet of rain in some areas and triggering mudslides. Many towns in the Dominican Republic are underwater. We are left with nothing, in ruins, nowhere to sleep, nowhere to sit. This is something incredible that we've never seen before. In Puerto Rico, thousands are still without power and running water. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has been assessing the damages since Tuesday.
Power and water, that's our #1 priority. It's going to take a while to understand truly the extent of the damage for repair.
Thursday, President Joe Biden speaking with FEMA officials and the governor of Puerto Rico to discuss ways to help, including federal funding.
We're here to help, we really are. Hundreds of FEMA and federal personnel are now there, including search and rescue teams, bilingual disaster survivor assistance teams, and U.S. Corps power restoration experts.
Storm watches are now in effect for parts of the eastern Canadian coast as Hurricane Fiona churns north. And another developing storm poised to be called Hermine could become a monstrous threat to the U.S. Gulf Coast by next week.
Fiona is not a threat to the continental United States, but that doesn't mean we are out of the woods yet, as we are still in the midst of hurricane season.
Let's check with our meteorologist Quinn Davidson whether more hurricanes are headed our way and what the weather has in store for us in general. Quinn?
The tropical Atlantic is bustling with activity. We see Hurricane Fiona that just went through Puerto Rico on its northeastern trek towards Canada. But what is really grasping our attention is Invest 98L, which has a very high development of tropical over the next few days. All models are in agreement that the storm is going to push into the Caribbean, which will experience very warm sea surface temperatures and low wind shear, all very favorable for development of tropical storms. Once we pass Jamaica, the spaghetti model plots get very uncertain with the track of the storm. Some models suggesting it goes to the Yucatan Peninsula and off to the Gulf of Mexico, but some bringing it up to Miami. So all eyes are going to be on this storm throughout the weekend to see where it's going to head out. Taking a look at one of the models, we have the ECMWF model that is showing the development of the storm pushing into the Caribbean. Once it passes right to the south of Jamaica, this model is bringing it into Cuba, which then it will move towards the central area of Florida. Again, this is just one of our models. Uncertainty is still very high with these storms. Taking a closer to home, we do have scattered showers and storms across the majority of the region, but now it is heading towards the southern area of Miami-Dade County. Taking a look at tonight's forecast, we have temperature around 75 degrees with a chance of storms, but after those dissipate, mostly clear. Tomorrow, drier with some sunny skies and warm temperatures at 90 degrees. And looking at our 7-day forecast, more humidity entering at the beginning of next week, and we're going to be tracking those tropics. Back to you.
Thank you, Quinn. It's time for another break, but when NewsVision returns, we'll update you on all Miami sports. Don't go away.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right, so it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're going to take the laces, we're going to cross them over, we're going to turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Welcome to sports. I'm Manny Nacarado, and let's kick things off with some Hurricanes football. Miami made the trip west to face off against Texas A&M this past Saturday, but things didn't go too well for the Canes. The squad was all over the place. They muffed a punt return and missed 2 kicks in the first half, and the offense did not score a touchdown for the first time this season. They lose 17-9 and fall 2-1 on the season. The Canes will try and bounce back against Middle Tennessee State this Saturday at home. But the other team in Miami traveled up to Baltimore, and Tua and the Dolphins pulled off some magic. Let's take a look at those highlights. Here's Tua in the shotgun, down 2 scores in the fourth quarter. Tua dropping back, looking to who else? Tyreek Hill wide open for a touchdown. Dolphins within 1 score here. What an amazing pass from Tua there. Back in the shotgun, down 1 score. Tua drops back and finds who else? The Cheetah again for a 60-yard bomb. Tyreek Hill back in the end zone for his second touchdown of the game. The Ravens were able to drive and kick a field goal to put them in the lead with 2:20 left, but Tua had something to say about that. Again in the shotgun, Tua drops back and finds Jalen Waddle, the Penguin, in the end zone again for his second touchdown. The Dolphins will go on and win this game 41-38, Tua throwing 6 touchdowns. The only 2 other Dolphins quarterbacks to do that in the game, Dan Marino and Bob Greasy. That's great company for Tua. The Hurricane swim and dive team is ranked 21st in the Swim Swam preseason rankings that were released earlier this week. Miami has won 7 ACC teams in the Swim Swam preseason power rankings. Mia Vale returns to the Hurricanes for her junior season after being named ACC Women's Diver of the Year after the 2021-2022 season. That's all I have in sports for today. Now back to you, Regina.
Thank you, Manny. I recently had the pleasure of meeting one UM student athlete who has been on the national and international stage.
Camila Schwartz began dancing at 3 years old, never dreaming she could turn her love of dance into a career. Now, more than 100 million people have watched Schwartz dance in the Super Bowl halftime show.
Stepping a foot into that arena, into that stadium was absolutely insane. The adrenaline just grew so much. I started bawling. Overall, it was the most incredible experience of my life.
Schwartz said J-Lo personally asked her dance studio to perform with her at the Super Bowl 54 halftime show. Sharing the stage with Jennifer Lopez and Shakira was a dream come true.
Jennifer Lopez is a complete icon, and she's kind of somebody I like to see as a mother figure. Working with Shakira was not the experience I was hoping it would be. She was honestly a little bit aggressive. She was a little mean.
But that is not Camila's only claim to fame. Earlier this year, she was a contestant on So You Think You Can Dance. While she was a contestant, Judge Matthew Morrison was asked to leave the show for inappropriate behavior towards a contestant, and the internet immediately thought it was Schwartz.
My routine was very flirty because I'm a ballroom dancer, so of course I was winking, but I was winking at my friends in the audience. I wasn't necessarily looking at him.
Tabloids printed articles saying Schwartz was the contestant that Morrison sent inappropriate DMs to, even though it was not her. Morrison made other contestants on the show feel uncomfortable.
It is an absolute yes from me.
He would just say comments to other contestants too, that looks really nice on you, or I really like your hairstyle, or like random things when we're not filming. It's flirty comments.
But that experience has not stopped Camila from doing what she loves most. She continues her dance career while attending the University of Miami, taking and teaching dance classes on weekends. And the students adore her as a teacher and role model.
She missed her so much when she was gone, dancing on the show. She really loves her. You can tell when she sees her, she just comes running and hugs her and hangs on her.
Schwartz makes sure to always keep in contact with her students, even while she is on the road competing.
My favorite is when you talk to us in the beginning, like a big sister. I love that Camila's a teacher.
Camila says she is looking forward to her next dance competition in Virginia next month and hopes to become a professional ballroom dancer on Dancing with the Stars. I know a new season of that show just released last week. I've been meaning to watch it.
Wait, do you want to watch it together? I have a projector, got this nice apartment.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a plan. And still ahead on NewsVision, a look at 2 TikTok trends that have gone viral.
And later tonight, it's the season premiere of UMTV's late night comedy show, Off the Wire. It goes live at 8:30 in Studio C with special guest Reed Alexander from the hit Nickelodeon show iCarly. Live music and sketches. You don't want to miss that.
Here are AARP top tips on caregiver preparedness during coronavirus. Form a team that can help with caregiving tasks. Take an inventory of essential supplies in your loved one's home. Make a list of the care recipient's medications. Schedule regular calls to fight isolation. Finally, take care of yourself too. Follow the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines for coronavirus safety. For more caregiving tips, go to aarp.org/caregiving.
Get ready to walk and talk on the weekends with one popular TikTok movement called Hot Girl Walks. The trend that has taken the internet by storm has come to Miami to encourage health, friendship, and community. Our reporter Bella Papaduke went to check it out.
One popular trend on TikTok is called the Hot Girl Walk. It blew up during the pandemic and is still going strong. 2 girls loved it so much, they started a Hot Girl Walk group in Miami that meets bright and early every Saturday at 9 a.m. to go for a walk together.
Everyone just has a really good time, I think, and it's a great group of girls. Everyone's super excited to be here. We see it grow every single week, so it's very inspiring and exciting to watch it come together, and everyone just gets up, has a good time, and starts the weekend the right way.
Last weekend, about 100 girls gathered for the Hot Girl Walk that took place in Brickell. They got a sweet deal on breakfast refreshments from the Raccoon Coffee food truck to fuel up before the walk. Then, organizers Lucy and Monica split the squad into small groups.
We tell them a little bit about the walk, any announcements that we have, any partners, and then we always split them into little groups. So we give them numbers and then split them into groups so that they get to know people. Obviously, like through walking and everything, like we're still building a community, but we want to make sure that they still get to know each other and make friends outside of just who they came with.
The girls walked for about an hour along the water in Brickell. At the halfway point in front of the Jade building, everyone stopped to take a group photo. At the end of the walk, the girls get free goodies from Hot Girl Walks partnerships. And last week, they got merch from Dote Wellness and the Forager Project. Many girls in the group told me they recently moved to Miami and saw the Hot Girl Walk as a way to stay active while making new friends.
I had been following them like for around 4 months, and I don't know why I can't came the other ones. So this one I just get up, saw that they post that the wall is that they are going to do the walk, so I decided to come.
Each week, the Hot Girl Walk changes locations to reach girls in all parts of Miami. They have also hosted walks in Edgewater, the Design District, and Miami Beach. But Miami is not the only place with an organized Hot Girl Walk. Cities all over the country have their own groups. Other Hot Girl Walk groups in South Florida include Fort Lauderdale and Palm Beach. This walk is always free, and everyone's invited. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Bella Papaduke.
What Matters to You is back. What Matters to You is a discussion series for UM students that brings leaders and changemakers to explore topics that matter to students. The first conversation of the semester will be with Carl Penn. Penn is an actor, writer, producer, and former associate director of the White House Public Engagement Office. He will be speaking about environmental consciousness in the AAPI community and arts education. The event is next Thursday. Tickets went live this morning, and you can still RSVP in the What Matters to You Instagram bio.
And finally, the FDA has a strange warning for you. Don't boil your chicken in NyQuil. Believe it or not, it's become a trend on TikTok and is raising health concerns at the same time. This is not the first time over-the-counter meds have been seen in social media trends. The Benadryl challenge 2 years ago that included taking a lot of meds to hallucinate also prompted the FDA to release a warning after some teens died. And now the agency says that boiling a medication can make it much more concentrated and change its properties in other ways. And just inhaling the fumes can be very harmful too. That is one TikTok trend I definitely will not be participating in.
No, same. There's so many other things we can do with chicken that doesn't harm our bodies, like season it.
Oh, exactly. And that is all the time we have for this week's episode of NewsVision. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Tune in again next week at the same time. Until then, have a good week and stay safe.